Hello, 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 all my machine heads, and welcome back to episode 3 of Maypole Huge Dairy Farm, and we're picking up right where we left off on Mowing. So how's everybody doing today? I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. I'm doing fantastic as usual. Let me put my joystick down, and we can get mowing. All right, first and foremost, what a wonderful job. Sorry, my leg was sticking to my leather chair. What a wonderful, great job, and so much fun we had last night on multiplayer. Oh, man, I tell you, I can't give those guys enough credit. It was so funny and so much fun. I recorded for an hour, and we looked at we didn't look at each other because we're not on the same screen, but we talked to each other and we're like, okay, let's finish it up at 2 a.m. my time. Now, remember, we all got on there at about 11 o'clock, okay? A little after 11 p.m. So I said to the guys, I said, let's finish it up at 2 because I got to take care of my dog and all that stuff. And we were so into what we were doing, we moved on to a wheat harvest, and all of a sudden, I looked down on my watch, and it was like 2:20. Then I looked down, it was like 2:30, and I'm like, so those 3.5 hours flew by. We also decided to move it to Fridays because some of the guys can can play a lot more consistently on Friday nights. Let's see if I can get this lined up so I can take this down. There we go. Right on the money, right on the money. So, all right, so I wanted to get that out of the way first and give those guys a bunch of credit. If you guys want to join us, right now we have 4 permanent players. We have Ranger, of course. We have CC, Mr. Canadian Crushers himself. We have South Central Wisconsin Farmer, and myself. So we have 4 out of the 8 permanent positions that are taken up. We still have 4. I put it in the community log, so make sure you guys sign up for it and let me know if you want to be a full-time or a part-time player, because if you're going to be a full-time player, then I'm going to buy you your own tractor, and you're going to have your own tractor, and no one else will use it but you. You'll be able to pick the brand and have it. Just because the boys and I like Case doesn't mean that you have to drive a Case. You can drive whatever you want. You'll use the same implements that we are, but you can have whatever brand tractor you want. Oops, missed that. So, let me pick this back up. All right, let me spin this around. Oh, yeah, I missed a little bit. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Awesome. All right, now I'm going to use my joystick so I can talk. All right, so I was on another channel today, and I witnessed some things that I want to discuss, and I want to ask you guys your opinions on it. The discussion came up about mods and in-game mods, or whatever, however you get your mods for your game, whether you're on console or whether you're on PC. It does not matter to me. The question is, do you think that Farm Sim is a sandbox game where you're doing the same thing, or do you think that mods change the gameplay? I can come over a little bit. That mods can change the gameplay to the point where it makes it a lot more easy to play, a lot more enjoyable to play, or would you just enjoy playing it vanilla version? Okay. So my question, and then we're going to jump into what your guys' thoughts are on maps. And once I ask this question, then I'll give you my opinion, all right, on what I think. There we go. And away we go for the third pass already. And this, the next part of the question is, so basically what I was going to ask about mods is, do you guys and gals think that mods make it more enjoyable, or is it still doing the same thing over and over and over again? Okay? And those of you who play Farm Sim, are you playing for realism, or are you playing for just relaxation? It's interesting to me to find out. It doesn't matter one way or another. It's just interesting for me to find out what people play for. There, I got it straight. My steering wheel overrode it. All right, so the next question, part of the question would be on maps. Do you think that every map is essentially basically the same map, or do you think that the map authors take the time to change them enough so that it feels like you're in a completely different place, or do you still feel like you are in a sandbox doing the same thing no matter what map you're on? Now, as soon as I get done asking this question, I'll give you my opinion on both. Technically, I could use GPS on this, but I'm not going to because we promised ourselves we weren't going to use it. So what do you guys think? Do you think like maps are different enough, or is everybody pretty much doing the same? Because the question arose on this other person's YouTube channel, and the map author of this map got involved with the questions, and he's got his opinions, and they are exactly the same as mine. So, and then I'll give you my opinions on the whole thing. Do you think that no matter if you're on No Man's Land or you're on this map, you're still doing the same things as far as you're still basically building a farm, or if you're staying the same? Or do you find that each map is done so differently, just in a little bit, that you find yourself doing things differently? All right, so let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in multiplayer Fridays now. We moved it to Fridays, everyone. It's not Tuesday night anymore. It's Friday night. The guys agreed that they can. It's just easier for them both to play on a Friday night, and then they can play longer. We're not obligated to just play for a couple hours because, some people work in their real lives. Like, just because Fury is retired doesn't mean everybody is. You know what I mean? So, let me know in the comments what you think on those two areas, and then I'm going to go ahead and give you my 2 cents, and then then I'll wrap it up in a nice little bow, and my deep detailed analysis, as ABL would say. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I'm going to give you my deep detailed analysis, wrap it up in a tiny little bow, and then go from there. Now, what is that? Is that a stump? Oops. See if I can get it just right. There. All right. There. I do like using my steering wheel better on this. It just drives so much better. Smoother. All right, so here's my opinions on everything. I, as a content creator and an ex-farmer myself, I don't use mods to cheat. I use mods to enhance the realism of the game. In other words, how many times have you guys heard my intro? Lots and lots and lots of times where we use real tractors, we use real equipment, we have realistic tutorials, and we have a real lot of fun, right? You guys have all heard it, right? So that is my take on mods. I don't download. In fact, I don't have a single autoload trailer downloaded. That's the other thing. You notice, too, in 17 and 19, we only had like one autoload. And 22, there's like every other mod, it seems like, is an autoload of some sort, whether it's pallets, whether it's trailers. And you can now, there's a mod in the in-game mod hub where you can put the autoload on any trailer you want. It's like a universal autoload. So I don't play that way. I play a different kind of game. Do I feel that Farm Sim is like, in my honest opinion, I believe what Cavalier Roy said, and I agree with what he said. He's the map author of this map. He got involved with the discussion because this person was like, oh, it doesn't matter the map because you're still doing the same exact thing over and over again. And my philosophy on that is, you're not, though. I get mods in the game for, like, I'll get a mod for if I've had that tractor in real life, if I've used that tractor, so I can give a tutorial on it. That's why I use mods. But there are people out there that use mods for cheats. Now, my point about the autoload is, if Giants, the one thing that they drop the ball on is their bale physics and their pallet physics are so bad that they don't make it easy to load bales onto a trailer. In real life, it's not, first of all, it's not that hard because the bales are huge. The other thing that Giants did is they dropped the ball on the scale. I've mentioned this probably over the last year at least 100 times, and that's being bare bones minimum. Okay, it's probably closer to 200 or 300. The scale is absolutely ridiculous. It was like, I was telling my wife today, it's like, for example, you guys know I generally use the black sheep modding. I gotta go farther on that one over there so I can just get a straight shot. I use the black sheep modding subsoiler, 6 meters, right? What everyone doesn't understand is, in real life, a 6.2 or 6.3 meter implement is literally almost 20-something feet wide. So if you took a tape measure, put it on the floor, and pulled out 20 feet, that's pretty big. In fact, in the U.S. here, our roads are only 21 feet from white line to white line. So that 6 meter implement, that black sheep modding implement, would go almost completely across one road, let alone a 12 meter. You couldn't even open it on a road. But yet you get it on a map or you get it on a field and it looks so tiny. I researched this, and this mod here is 6.6 or 6.7 meter. You can get it all the way up to a 10 meter width. So, I mean, 10 meters. Think about that, okay? 10 meters is 30 feet. Over 30 feet. 10.3 is like 32 feet. Pretty close. So take your same tape measure and pull out the tape measure to 32 feet, and it shows you how big the front end is on this. Tractors in real life, round bales in real life, square bales, other than the little 80 pounds, the big giant Heston square bales are huge. You can't just go pick them up with super strength. You have to use a forklift or a telehandler or a front loader. And our front loader, which I've shown you the tractors that I've had in the past, we could only barely pick up one. And the wrapper that we had, you had to pick up the bale and set it on the wrapper, and it was an auto wrapper. And you put it on and wrapped it, and then it popped it off the back. Then you had to pick it up with different tongs. You couldn't pick it up with the bale fork. But the difference is, in real life, you can get the pallet forks underneath the bale because they're so big, especially a round one. Oh, I went all the way out with that one. All right, I know what I'm doing differently on this end. I'm not cutting out. But anyway, so I don't get mods to enhance gameplay. I get mods for the realism. And I know that Ranger and I know that CC feel is the exact same way as me. We don't get mods. We don't go run around and jump and get the brand new latest toys just to make the gameplay easier. I'm not playing the game for that. I'm playing the game for realism, so I'm in this for the long haul. That's my take on the mods. Now, my take on the map, and this goes directly to Cavalier Roy, okay, because I know that he was pretty upset about that comment that person makes. Because what everybody needs to understand is how much work, and I know this because I've built maps, how much actual work goes into a map building. And then you've got to play the game of, if you want it on the mod hub, you've got to send it to Giants, and then they've got to test it, and you know it gets rejected for the stupidest reasons. But if you just put it out on your private website or your private space yourself, it would play. It'd be fine. So I know for a fact the amount of work that went into this map and Riverview and things like that. So I understand completely what it takes. And when someone tells you, oh, it's basically the same map, it's people are taking the same maps over and over again. And I do know there are people out there that just take a map that's already made, like this one, wipe everything off the map and start over. It's still the same map. I do understand where that person's coming from. But I've also told each and every one of you guys, all of our family members, in fact, all 610 of you guys, I've told you over and over and over again, for me, a map is feel. As an ex-farmer myself, I have to feel like it's real. I have to feel like I'm here, like I'm in a place, like I'm on a field mowing the grass. Some of the maps that have come out in the past that are just a blank slate, it makes it very, very, very boring. And that's where I think that person, where they were coming from, where it's sandbox. You get on some of those 4X square maps, like, for example, I'm just going to point out one. I am not bashing any map makers whatsoever, but Pacific Northwest. It is literally wide open, square fields, nothing to it. And what really kind of turned me off with the map was the fact that Pacific Northwest in Fs17 and Fs19 was amazing. It had the big hill, it had the giant town, it had everything. And then these guys put out a map, and I don't know if they're the original map authors or not. It's not really my decision and my business, but they they rushed out this Pacific Northwest and 4X map, and it resembles absolutely nothing like the original. So people won't go on and they download this map because they think, oh, Pacific Northwest, all right, it's one of my favorite maps, all right. And you get it, and it's a completely different iteration, which is fine. Hey, all right. But I get on the map, and there's no feel to it. It's blah. The traffic's all going the same way. You're just going around in a giant square. Now, is it worker friendly? Yes. Does it make it fun? Yes. And I still mess around with the map. And I know that they worked very hard on it, so I'm not going to bash them at all. They are good map makers. They put out a decent map, but it didn't even resemble. And I'm going to feel the same way. And this is going to go directly to Nathan. When you drop Meadow Grove Farm, if it doesn't even resemble Meadow Grove Farm, I don't want it. You know, when you jump from 19 to 22, I don't want it the same exact farm, but I want it to feel the same. I hope and I'm praying that he doesn't change it so much that it doesn't feel like home. Because Meadow Grove Extended to me feels like home. This map and Riverview feel like home. That's what I grew up with. That's what I played. That's what I grew up farming on. It was these kind of fields. So, as far as map makers, I want Cavalier Roy to know. There are people out there, just as much as you get one person that claims that every map is the exact same. This map, to me, driving around, looks nothing like Riverview at all. Even though it's done by the same map maker, it doesn't look anything like it. It doesn't even resemble it. It's completely different to me. So for the person, now it may have some of the same buildings. It may have some of the same features, like the fences and the hedges that can be removed. That's fine. I personally don't have a problem with map makers that put the same features in maps, because that's what I draw to. I've told you guys all lots and lots and lots of times that for me, I find a map maker that I like, and I generally stick with that. I will always stick with Nathan. I will always stick with Mike Granger. Now Cavalier Roy. Cavalier Roy, not Rory. I wanted to call him Rory. Sorry, Cav. I got to start going wider. That's going to get rounded. I find a map author, and I stick with them, and that's all there is. That's why we talked in depth last night on multiplayer. The guys are like, hey, did you see Goldcrest Valley dropped? And I was like, nope. I said, I did see that it dropped. I said, yeah, but I have no desire. Because I didn't like it in 19, I know I'm not going to like it in 17. And the version that came out in 19 was horrible. I didn't play many base maps. What happened in 17 is, and I wasn't making videos, and I was just playing the game. In 17, I played about less than a month on the in-game maps that came out, and I played mostly Sosnovka, the Russian map, and then as soon as Pine Creek Valley dropped, the logging one, I went right to that. I also did see today, everyone, that Dark Forest is in testing, so you guys know that that's my favorite map from 19 as far as logging. Whether I do a Let's Play on it or not will be remain to seen. I will do a personal Let's Play on it because it's my map. That Meadow Grove Farm Extended. I hope Nathan doesn't come out with just Meadow Grove, because I wasn't a big fan of just Meadow Grove. Meadow Grove was too small. Meadow Grove Extended, now on the other hand, was it was a bigger map. It felt good. Greenwich Valley too was a nice one. That map felt real. So my whole opinion on the whole thing was, and I watched these guys talking, and I watched how quickly it got out of hand. Because you have to understand, Cavalier Roy is gonna give his opinions. He makes the map, and he put a lot of work into it, so he's gonna defend his work. He's not gonna let you bash the map too much. That's why when I bash a map, I make sure that I'm doing it as respectful as I can, within reason. I still have my opinions, but I always state that they're just my opinions, and that doesn't mean squat in the real world. Absolutely, I am absolutely a nobody. Absolutely zero, zilch, nothing. I'm just an old man playing farm sim, recording videos. That's what I told the guys last night. Here, now we'll come up here. See, there we go. Now I made a nice wider turn. But I don't think, and this is just my opinion, I don't think any map, like I just got done saying to you guys, this doesn't resemble Riverview at all. Riverview's got a completely different feel to it. And I'm a big one on feel. And I know that Ranger and I know CC feels the same way, because they just told me they did last night. We talked in depth about this. Letting you guys know, too, when we go multiplayer, I record for an hour, okay, get my video done. Oh, that's the other thing. As soon as I loaded up the stupid, I hit record, I got a massive lag spike. It was terrible, and I found out what happened later. It was, when I record a video, I put it on push to talk, so I can talk to you guys freely, and they don't have to hear anything. And can you imagine you're playing multiplayer and this guy's talking in your ear for like an hour straight? After a while, it's like, shh, I just want to farm. So I put it on push to talk, and every once in a while, I will ask them a question so they can feel involved. with what's going on. And that's how we work it. And then afterwards, we go into what we call third shift anarchy, basically. We're all playing the game. We're all still doing stuff within the constraints of the game. But it's a little bit more adultish, if you know what I mean. Because, let's face it, it's 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Not many of our family member, our kids, are up that late. And if they are, that's, I don't know. I mean, if I had somebody that wanted to join multiplayer that was 6, I'd be like, do you realize how late we're going? Does your mom and dad know how late Fury's going to be recording? Because like I said, we were on till 2:30 in the morning, my time, which put it at midnight, their time. They're a couple hours behind me. I think. I don't know for sure. I have no idea. I think they told me that. They're a couple hours behind me. So, like Russell, he's going to be joining us one of these times because he's going to be on vacation from work. But he's in New Zealand. So he's going to be like recording at like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. So that poor guy it's going to be hard for him to join us. But he's willing to make the sacrifice of doing it because I don't know him personally, but I know Russell. I know the way he thinks. He's a lot like me. So when you guys come on multiplayer, you're going to learn a lot about Fury. You're going to learn a lot about the guys that play. We talk about our families a lot. We talk about the game. We talk about mods. We talk about everything under the sun, and it's fun because you're doing things less like the game. You're playing the game. Like CC and I, we're plowing a field. Ranger's still going on, building his farm and doing his thing, and you'll hear him get quiet, but then all of a sudden you'll see up in the corner, it'll be like bling, bling, bling. You'll see money being spent, and it's hilarious. And I constantly pick on him. It was so funny because our farm yesterday, we started the day at 21.9 million, and at the end of our 3.5 hours, we're down to 19 mil. It was absolutely insane how many millions of dollars we're all spending. Crazy, not only just building this farm, but buying equipment, and we're buying big mother bins, and it's great. Oh, just got a lag spike there. That was weird. But it's absolutely fantastic, and I have so much fun. And I guess what's fun for me is when I learn about you guys. I learn about CC's family, and I'm learning about Ranger's family and things. And the nice thing about it is we don't do that stuff while I'm recording because it's their personal lives. That stuff comes out after the recording stops, and we're all just chit-chatting and playing the game and just going back to basics, as we call it, third shift anarchy. And you get to know your family members, and it's really, really awesome. But I want to throw this disclaimer out there. I don't want people giving out their real names. I will always, always, always refer to you as your in-game name, whatever you choose for your in-game. So if you want to put your real name in, that's whatever I see on the screen is what I'm going to call you. But I prefer to call you by your screen name, So if you do come on, take a few seconds before you actually load into the game, or once you first load into the game, and go under the character creation and create a screen name, because we want to respect people's privacy. The other thing is, don't tell where you really live unless you don't care. Like Fury lives in New York, so but Ranger and CC, they want to be respected. They don't want people knowing where they live. So just make sure that you're not coming on and telling people where you live unless you want to. It's up to you. You can give out or hold out as much information. But as far as me as the moderator of our little anarchy system there that we got going on, I will never, ever, ever, ever give out information. This is why I always tell people, friend me on Steam, because that way we can communicate personally, on a personal level. We can get to know each other by name, by real name, and because I'm not doing farm sim for, I'm not on here trying to make millions of dollars. I'm a retired dude playing farm sim. I just want to teach. I just want to come on and teach and show you guys how to farm, and if you have questions, and answer them, and just try to, you know, and this multiplayer was Tuesday, but now it's Friday. It's fun because I get to learn so much about you guys, and it's just great. It's great. But those are the 2 rules that I have. Just make sure you're using a screen name, because that's what I'm going to refer to you by, and make sure that you're not giving out any personal information to anybody else who's on with us. Just protect yourself, because you never know. The internet's crazy. We could get people on there, and they're cool while you talk to them. Next thing you know, all your stuff's getting leaked out, and not everybody's a content creator for me. Like, you guys know more about my real life, my real family, than probably my own family. I was watching Bernie Mac today. Oh, great comedian. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. He's a great comedian. And he said he was having problems with, it was one of his older specials, and he was having problems with his sister's kids. And he's like, I know them, but I don't know them. And I just laughed, because I thought that's exactly the way I am with some of my family members outside of Farm Sim. I know more about my family members in Farm Sim than I do about my real family members. Because when we grew up, you guys know, I'll know I have 2 sisters. One moved to Florida, the other one moved to North Carolina, and I live in New York. So, and my mom still lives in New York. So we're up here, and they're all over the place, and then their families and their kids are all over the place. So we see each other once or twice a year, and you guys will know, when Fury's sisters come up, I don't go anywhere near YouTube, because they yell at me. They don't want me on a computer. They want me spending time with them, which makes sense. It really does. Let's give a quick look this way. Hey, we're getting close to the farm, everybody. We are rocking and rolling. As you guys can see, when you're doing an hour, you get a lot more done. And this is what I envisioned. This is what I absolutely miss about Calmsden. That map was amazing. What I got frustrated with the amount of updates that happened very quickly. So what Fury's learned is, as soon as a map drops, I don't do anything, especially if it drops in the in-game mod hub. I don't, as much as I love Cavalier Roy, I probably will get my version from Discord. He talked to me about giving me an early version of Riverview, because I know that once Giants is pushing out these, they said there was, what did DJ Gohem say today? I watched his video, and he said there was 700 and something mods in testing. Now, I don't know about you guys, but is it me, or did we not have this many mods in 19 until we were almost done with the game? I mean, these mods are dropping crazy, which leads me back to my original question. Now, if the game is so sandboxy and so much doing the same, why are so many mods dropping? And I'm not talking about the silly ones like the one where the guy's standing there flexing super, like it's like the 3rd iteration of super strength. I'm not talking about that, because there's been 3 different iterations. Like PowerPoints have super strength in it. Lumberjack has super strength in it, and now that one came out. So there's 3 iterations to super strength. There's 3 or 4 iterations of water hydrants. I noticed that because Ranger wanted a different water pack, and I ended up getting the one that was free, that gives us free water. And there's just like, you look at it and you're like, holy crap, there's like 3 different iterations of water hydrants. There's about a gazillion different versions of bale spikes and, things like that. So my question is I don't think we ever had that much, that many mods drop that much, and all about the same. Like, and I'm seeing like packs dropping. We still haven't gotten the big ones. Like Black Sheep Modding comes out with his Massey pack, which is what Reefy's looking for. Reefy's looking for his Massey pack that he loves. And I get a lot of my input from him and Grizzly Bear Sims because they're OGs to me. They've been in this game a lot longer than I have. So the one thing I learned from my pops, you guys know that I talk about my pops all the time. I tell stories about him all the time. The one thing that he taught me at a very, very young age is you respect the OGs in the game. Like always, basically what he would say to me and how he explained it, if we came across another farmer that was older and been around a while, you respect them because they've been doing it a lot longer. They're OGs. So I respect Reefy. I respect Mighty Mike. I respect Farmer Z. All those guys, Grizzly Bear Sims, all those guys that have been doing it way longer than me. They've been OGs in this game. Like look at Grizzly Bear Sims. Look at Jerry's been doing this for 7 years now. YouTube. 7. I mean, think about me. I've only done it a year. Actually, a little over a year now. 13 months now. I started in March. March 4th was my first video. So now we're in, well, let's see, March, yeah. And then now April. So April 4th was my 13th month of making videos. So I'm just a tiny little guy in a big pond. And I'm not coming on here. I do the same thing like Farmer Z. Those guys aren't doing this as a full-time job. This is their part-time gig, and I'm not making videos to make millions of dollars. You know, even if down the line YouTube decides to pay me, I'm not looking at getting millions of dollars. I'm just looking at making videos for people to enjoy. And we're getting quite the little, like, we're not getting the jump in family members like we used to. And a lot of that is because right now, Fury, it took some time and he was jumping around because I got frustrated with the updates and I wasn't stuck on one style, and then I jumped around a little bit on style. And that's my fault. But remember, like I told you guys on my one rant video way back when Old Stream Farms, remember episode 1 where I ranted for like 11 minutes and 46 seconds? It was almost 12 minutes of a rant. Because I've watched it like 20 times. I told you guys, the core people that we're getting now, I know for a fact that the family members that we're getting joining now want to see the content and want to see the kind of gameplay we're getting. You know, we jumped very quickly there when 22 dropped, and we started getting the new maps, and we started getting a lot. It was like, but recently it's slowed down. But I made a promise to Reefy and Grizzly Bear, and I take my promises as a man very, very seriously. I don't look at the numbers anymore. I go on in the morning. I walk my dog at 6 o'clock. I told the guys last night, even though I'm not farming anymore and stuff, I still get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every day. So you can only imagine for me when it's 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I haven't even rendered this video yet. Because usually what happens, everyone, is as soon as I get done recording, I will throw it up on my editor, and I'll try, as long as my little old eyes stay awake, I'll try to edit it as best I can. But I don't really have to edit it. I've told you guys before, I don't edit my videos. The only thing I edit it for is lighting and graphics. I did pretty well. I was pretty proud of myself. When I hit record last night on multiplayer, boy, that lag froze my game to the point where I couldn't even drive the tractor. I'm not kidding. I couldn't. I said to the guys, I was like, are you guys getting a lag? And Ranger's like, I got a little bit of one. But CC was like, nah, I didn't get one. So I think when I hit save on my push to talk, it was trying to save the game, and I tried to hit record, and it was one of those perfect storms. Because listen, I've had lag spikes before. We all have. Where you're going along and it'll stutter, but for the most part, I've pretty much fixed that. I've narrowed down what it was and fixed it. We haven't had one of those major ones in a while. But I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we just had one this episode, but it's not noticeable. Like, it didn't cut my voice out. But last night, like, I went to lower the implement, and it was like my implement wouldn't even lower. And then when I hit cruise, it was like So I was proud of myself, and I went through and I edited it, and I was able to get out the stutter. It's still there, but not. You guys will see when you watch it. It's not as bad as it was, and it definitely wasn't. And it went right away, so it 100% must have been that saving. The game was just my PC was just too overwhelmed between multiplayer, and the other thing is too, our farm over there is getting huge, and Rangers started adding animals already, so we added like 900 chickens already or something like that. So you got all those moving around and all the trees and things moving around, so it was taxing. And then when I hit save and then hit record, I was like, whoa. But it stopped. Like it did it only for about 20 seconds, if that, and it wasn't even enough where like bad. It only took me a few seconds to fix it. Man, this steering wheel, I got it adjusted perfect. Look at that, perfect. I bought a new steering wheel, same steering wheel, but a new one. My belt was going. You guys got to remember how much I actually play truck sim and racing games and things, and I use my steering wheel constantly, so the belts were, I like the belt ones. It just feels a little more realistic to me. The belts were wearing out on my old one, and when I was recording, I would get a little bit of a... So if you're watching a YouTuber and you hear when he's turning, that means he's had his steering wheel a while, which is great. So I bought a new one. It's still the Thrustmaster 250. I used to have the Thrustmaster 300, but I downgraded to the 150 because I like the little smaller wheel. I don't like the 300 has more of a realistic wheel. Steering wheel, and it's huge, and where my steering wheel is it's hooked to my front desk, and then my keyboard's directly behind it, and my mouse to one side, and then I've got my some dashboard on a what do you call those, like a stand on the side of my desk, on the little thing that pulls out, and then my joystick sits up to my left, and then my mic is hooked to the desk. It's on a swing boom that I can swing in and out. But the steering wheel, I have to reach over to reach my keyboard, because my keyboard's like, my monitor's all the way against the wall, and then I have my keyboard in front of that and my steering wheel right in front of my legs, and then my pedals are on the floor, but they don't get in my way, because generally speaking, as you guys see, I hit cruise control most of the time. I'm not playing the game of trying to push a pedal down all day long. So I went with from the T300, the Thrustmaster 300, to the Thrustmaster T150, which is about half the size, and I like it so much better. And I had to download the new drivers. I got all that set up, and it's great. I love it. It's, as you can look how responsive that is. It's absolutely amazing when they're new. By the time they get a couple years old, they start to make all kinds of cat scratching noises. My thoughts and prayers go out to CC, who's getting over their seat lag spike right there. She's got another one. So it's not uncommon for me to get them. My thoughts and prayers go to CC. He's getting over. He's towards the end of his... He got tested positive for the COVID, and he's doing well. And boy, I tell you, he bought the coolest mic. He said he didn't pay a lot of money for it. He said it was cheap. Got it on sale on a pack where you could buy 2 of them. And it sounded great. Ranger's new one sounds great too. You guys hear him? He says everything. He says you can hear everything he says. It's great. Like I told the guys last night, not everybody has this $500 microphone that I have. And between the microphone and the stand, it's close to probably $600, and that was the cheapest Shure microphone that I could find. My pop filter, you start looking at pop filters, they get $40, $50, $60, $100. And I told the guys last night, I mean, it's like you can drop a lot of money on a PC real quick, but is it worth it? I've always told everybody, buy what you need. Don't buy what you want, because if you buy what you want, we all are going to go broke, because we all want the latest, greatest new toys. Don't buy a computer because you may do this and you may do that, because right now I can pull out my Dell laptop that I built from Newegg. I actually built it, and it was put out. The case is put out by Dell, but all the internal parts of my laptop are put in by me. And that plays Farm Sim great. I can record videos on that, and it does great. Not everybody needs a really super powerful computer to record. You guys know. You guys are around YouTube. You watch it. Some people don't have the greatest quality, but you know what? What I always do is I respect the grind. Remember, Fury was always where you guys were too. Ask Mike Granger. When I first started sending videos to him, that poor guy. Oh, I'll tell you, that poor guy, and the guys over at G&G Modding on Facebook, they put up with Fury's crap. I was so eager. I felt like I was like a teenager again, because Vic, he's the moderator. He's the one that you'll see every once in a while pop up on Steam. Mad Dog. That's Vic. That's my buddy Vic from G&G Modding. He's great. One of the nicest human beings you could ever meet on this planet. One of the greatest moderators. He's very tough, but it's great. What a fantastic. I can't give him enough credit, because when I first started this, between Vic and Terra Farmer and those guys that were over there, oh man, I just bugged the living crap out of them. It was almost like a daily thing. Guys, check this video out. Guys, check, and they just rolled with the punches and let me do it. And my videos were so bad. So bad. It was like, if I have some of them in the archives, and I watch them back every once in a while to see where I've come and show myself where I've come as far as videos. And that was before I had a mic, and I didn't even know how to talk. Like, I didn't even know what to say. And then I became friends with Raznick, and I'll tell you, the guy has taught me so much on like how to talk, how to present yourself, how to the best time to like clear your throat, best time, all that stuff. I've learned so much from him. But the video part of it, which reminds me, those of you who have watched this video this far, one of my all-time favorite YouTubers is retiring. It goes outside of Farm Sim. It's I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Outlaw. He's a big redneck country guy that does videos on basically everything under the sun, basically screwing around. But he's one of my favorites because he's just being him. And get this, you ready for this? You want to talk about an OG? He's been making videos for 16 years on YouTube, and he's retiring from YouTube. He's still going to make videos, but he's going to do it more of a learning type thing, where he wants to do like more podcast type thing. And I just respect the guy. I basically watched him grow up. He was such a little kid when he started. Now, 16 years later, he's a grown man with a family and kids, and but he's retiring. So my shout out, Outlaw, to you. Best of luck in your retirement. Best of luck in what you do. Everything you do is going to hit gold anyways. So that's just my shout out to him. But anyways, moving on. I've learned so much, but the reason it popped into my head about him is he never calls videos videos. He calls them videos. I've been making videos for about a year and a half. I've been putting them on YouTube for 13 months, as I just explained, but I've been doing them for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, and just poor guys over at G&G Modding, they put up with all of my crap and all of my bugging and all of my asking and all of my how do you do this and how do you do that, and they never missed a beat. So if you guys want to go, if you guys are still members of Facebook, I've done away with mine. You guys know I don't have social media. I don't believe in social media anymore. I don't have a Twitter. I don't have a Instagram. I don't have any of that stuff. I think that it's just a big toxic environment. But for those of you who still have your Facebook, which is most of you, if not all of you, and for those of you who still enjoy Facebook and can do it, go over and visit my buddies over at G&G Modding and talk to Vic. He's the moderator. Tell him that Fury Machine Gaming sent you. Anytime you have any questions, anytime, they will always answer it. And Vic's been around. Vic's an OG. He's been doing that moderating game for a long, long, long time. Well, put it this way. He was the moderator there in 17. He was the moderator there in 19 and now in 22. So what are we talking? 5-6 years just for that? Not to mention he works a real job and he does what he needs to do. And there has been times, and the reason I fell in love with those guys, there was a time when I first was getting into Farm Sim on a serious note, and I started meeting people, and I started getting my name out there. Way back, you guys want to hear something funny? Back when my channel name was Big Jim Farming. Oops, we're going to do this here real quick. I don't want to lose that strip. That's what my original channel name was Big Jim Farming. So it's just funny how far we've come. But back when I first started making videos, poor outlaw. He's going to be like, that's copyrighted. I know. I can't even say it. No, it's not copyrighted. You can say videos all you want. But I just enjoyed it so much because, and then, what I was telling you guys, the story of you got to be careful who you friend in this game, because I got involved with a couple of map makers that have done some really, really big maps. I'm not going to give their names out because I had a really bad experience with it. Really, really bad. You guys know my story about my potato PC and all this stuff and my bad videos. I've told you. I just got done telling you. And I got hooked up with this one map maker and was helping them test and all this stuff. And they literally chased me out of, ran me right out the door because they didn't like the way I was, the way I approached things. They wanted to go on and they wanted to make these massive maps, 16x, 24x, 48x, and they just wanted to do whatever they wanted to do. And I didn't want any part of it, because when you get to the point where you're making anything bigger than a 16x map, the game just can't handle it. It's not set up for that. Absolutely not set up with that. It's set up for 4x or even 8x would be probably the max. But you guys know that have played Hastings, that's the 16x map. It's just too big. Most computers can't handle it. It'll never come to console. So I just didn't want any part of it. And as soon as I told them that I didn't want any part of it, it was really, really, really toxic. And here comes Mike Granger, one of my all-time best friends in the world as far as Farm Sim goes. He is the owner-operator of G&G Modding, him and his brother Ken. And here he was, and out of the blue, I just started talking to him, and next thing you know, we became friends on Facebook. Next thing you know, we became friends, personal message friends, texting friends, and same thing with Vic. Vic's a friend of mine, was on Facebook before I got rid of it. And I was able to vent about everything to Mike, everything on it. Like, it was sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm typing these huge diatribes to Mike, who was never ever asked me to stop. And at that point in time, I got closer and closer and closer with Scooter's Workbench, and Vic and Mike Granger, and next thing you know, they asked me to go on and start testing their maps for them, and they have a separate website for that, and you put all your problems and stuff that you've had with the map on there. And I don't understand. So my whole point about the whole thing is, be careful who you associate with, because not everybody has your best interest at heart. And that goes with life, too. That just goes with everything I always tell my kids, you know. Man, I'll tell you, when I look this way, I get a little bit of a lag. And it may be this mod, it may be a bunch of things. A couple more headlands here, then we'll finish up. I'll finish up at 10:30. That'll be just about 58 minutes, because we started at 32. So that'll be just about 58-minute video, which is perfect. I'll start it at even. But we're almost done mowing. Look, we got to just go up there and mow this, and then probably another half an hour, 45 minutes of mowing, and then we'll be on to either collecting the grass or windrowing it up. One of the two. I haven't decided yet what I want to do. But just be careful, especially in Farm Sim. So that was my whole story, and my whole went on about that, because going back to the multiplayer, just that's why I don't want people giving out their personal stuff, because I made the mistake of giving my stuff out to people, and next thing you know, I'm getting messages out. Now, everybody from that map maker's team was not toxic. I'm still good friends with a couple of them that have said that they don't believe in what was said, don't believe what was done, because Fury wasn't always this computer savvy guy. I can design. I went to college for computer graphics, which I can design and run a computer and do all that stuff. But when it came to modding and stuff like that, I had no idea. And I don't know if I didn't live up to their expectations, or they wanted me to be more of what I was, because I didn't even know how to get into an XML when I first started hanging out with those guys. I didn't even know, like, how to open up a mod. I never knew. I never, ever knew. Fast forward 6 years later, and I can do it in my sleep now, but 6 years, you know. So they were all pros at it, and but the toxic, and not everybody on his team was that way. Not everybody was. Some of his guys are still cool and have left his team since then. But he's still making maps, and he's still doing his thing, and I can respect that. I am going to stop my cruise here. And look at that, everybody. We made it an hour. All right, shut this down. And jump out. Wow. Been riding in that tractor for an hour now. But we don't got much left. We only got to go up there, and then we're literally done mowing. And I don't know. I might windrow this. I don't know. We'll see. All right, everybody. We made it past episode 3. I told you guys some stories. Make sure you guys sign up. Please, 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 please. Sign up on my thing under community for multiplayer Fridays. Ranger and CC and South Wisconsin Farmer are going to be there. South Central Wisconsin Farmer are going to be there. South Central won't be there this Friday because I forgot. It's Good Friday this week, and he's got some Easter plans. The other guys and I are still going to record. I may not record for a whole hour because it is Good Friday, and I will be busy all day long, and it's Easter weekend. So, but I'm going to go on. I'm going to play with those guys like I promised, and we're going to go from there. But he'll be back. South Central will be back next Friday. So there's 4 of us on there. If you want to come and you want to learn about farming, you want to learn about Fury's life, and you want to learn about that. Also, if you send me a friend request on Steam, make sure that you put it in the comments somewhere that you did it. Because if I don't know who you are, we just had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person friend me up on Facebook who is one of our family members, but I had no idea who it was. So I'm like, who are you? Like, who is this? Because I don't like social media, and I want to make sure that the people that are on my Steam friends list are people that want to be there, not just the toxic things. You know what I mean? And on that note, please, please, please look out for yourselves, look out for each other, and most importantly, look out for each other's families. Be sure to like and subscribe and share, and hit the little notification ding bell so you get notified when Fury drops a new video. Be sure to like and enjoy the night, the day, the weekend, whenever you're watching this, and we will catch you all back here, right here, where we left off tomorrow. Dun, dun, dun. Let me know about your thoughts and opinions on the mods and the maps, and let me know, because I'm anxious to hear everything. And on that note, Fear Machine will catch all of you guys on the flip side.